So, hey everybody, welcome to the last day of our 7 week, 7 app challenge. This is the week one last day, I should mention, where we are going to deploy our CableSnap application that we have been building since Monday. And so, the first thing we did is define what CableSnap was. We defined the problem statement. So, let's say if one of your cables that connects two devices went bad, or if you lost your cable, in the first circumstance, you take a picture of the cable, and our application, with the help of AI, tells us what kind of cable it is. You need an adapter to connect that cable and all the juicy stuff. If you lost your cable, you take a picture of the device along with maybe the cable connecting end, and our AI tells us what is the particular cable that can go into our particular device. It also tells you what are all the different possible cables as well if you did not take a picture of the connector end. So that was the first day. The second day, we went into the back end and looked at the Lambda function, which connects to Bedrock. And specifically, we use Claude 4 and Claude 3.7 to be able to recognize what kind of image we have taken and what kind of cable is in the image that gives the output. From there, we are building an iPhone app or an iOS app. And so, what we are then doing is we are going to expose the Lambda function through API gateway to our client, and the code we have written there is in Swift. So in the previous tutorial, I looked at what are all the different functions that goes into the Swift app. So this was the main function. This was going to be a helper function, and this is going to be the dependency that we had written. And so the last thing is we want to take our application and deploy it. Okay. And so here I'm going to deploy it on the simulator, which is an iPhone 16 Pro Max. And so let me go ahead and build the particular code. So you can see here that the CableSnap application was installed. And boom, this is how your application is going to look like. So let's say I'm going to take a photo. So give it a second because that new sheet is getting loaded, that image picker is getting loaded. And oops, I don't really have a cable picture, but for kick's sake, let's just upload one of these pictures and see what happens. So here you can see all our messages are coming that we discussed in the code yesterday. AI magic and process. Again, this is a bare bones application, all right? And so it's not exactly the most sophisticated thing that one could build, but it has an end-to-end functionality. So it goes to API gateway, and from API gateway goes to Lambda, goes to Bedrock, and comes back with the output. And so this is the output that we are looking at, and this is the Amazon link. I should mention that please don't use the API gateway URLs that I showed through the video. Those are all disabled now. So those are things that you might have to create yourself and put your own URLs. Those were just used for demos. And so if I go and click in here, it shows a natural landscape with waterfall, blah, 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 blah. There's no cable, is what it says. Now let's see if I put get it from Amazon. For kick's sake, what happens? It goes to Amazon.com. Oh, in this case, Safari is not opening. Actually, it did. Okay. And then it says no cable or device visible. And that's it, right? So the simulator works. The last thing is you want to commit it to the App Store. I'm not going to go through that entire process on how do you put the bundle identifier and things like that. That's something any AI assistant will be able to help you with. But just to give you a quick overview, essentially what when you finish is you go in here and you archive, meaning a build is going to get created. And once the build is created, you're going to validate your application, make sure that your application is validated, and then go ahead and distribute your app. It goes into TestFlight. The build goes into TestFlight. Use it for testing with your peers, and then deploy the application. So by tomorrow, I have deployed the application. By tomorrow or day after, boom, CableSnap is live. Everything that we built together. So again, thank you all for taking part with me in our week one challenge. Next week, brand new app. To give you a teaser, it's going to involve something with maps, is what I'm thinking. I'm thinking of that right now. So I'm going to spend the weekend finishing it up, or I'm going to do something with a web app. So one or the other is going to be next week. So with that, I will see you all in week 2 of our challenge with a brand new product. And please check this out on the App Store. Please like, share, and subscribe if you like these kind of content. And I'd love for everyone to be a part of this building journey. Have a great rest of your day.